Hi friends, I'm going to tell you a story about a couple of 51-year-olds from the big city who took a leap of faith, bought some raw land in the far north, and with no experience upgraded a 1-kilometer overgrown bush trail into a 15-foot wide road. Stick around till the end and I will break down how much it cost us that first year of clearing some of our land and upgrading an old trail to a corduroy road. If we can do it, so can you. Now, Chris and I are no spring chickens, and when we first got there, we used some manual tools and a really old chainsaw, but we knew that we were going to have to upgrade some equipment. Honestly, we could only get the truck in so far, and this spot right here was where we snowshoed into, and right here is where we managed to get the truck to. We immediately wondered, what did we get ourselves into? This place was overgrown. But we were still optimistic. We put the tent up, we hopped on the quad, and we went touring around the property just to see what we were dealing with. It didn't take long before we started getting straight to work. Taking down trees is a lot of work, and we were thankful for the large excavator. It's hard to believe that this entire area was once covered in trees. Big equipment goes through a lot of diesel. Chris found an amazing diesel container, so now we have our own little gas station right on the property. We can't fill it right up because it is pretty heavy at max, but the truck can handle it about 2/3 full. It felt scary at first, but once it was delivered and we had a quick demo on how to use the excavator, we were off to the races. And honestly, it's kind of like playing a video game. Like a video game. It really was a lot of fun taking turns using the big equipment, but if you ask Chris, I'm sure he will confirm that I probably played in the excavator far more than he did, but that's okay. It was really the most fun grooming our road with all the big equipment that we rented. The big reasons for needing it so wide was we needed propane trucks to come in, we needed some big rigs to eventually deliver concrete and gravel, and to start with we were doing it all on our own. And then when we did decide to bring the cabin up from the lake, that's a 13-foot wide. It was a 45-foot 12 wide, but we had a 13-foot bump out, and we needed the road to be wide enough for this huge trailer park model to be hauled into the main space that we cleared. So it was important that this 1-kilometer road was wide enough and safe enough for travel. The first section of the road needed the most work. There was a pooling of water that would happen after it rained. There was a slope that went uphill, and it actually would erode. So the cheapest thing for us to do was to put trees down and create a corduroy road, which is exactly what we did. There was a lot of prep required for that, including getting enough trees and widening and flattening that section that was uphill because it was concave and went uphill, so there was a lot of earth that needed to be moved in order to put the logs down and actually do the corduroy road uphill. Chris did most of the chainsawing because it was just too intimidating for me. I did assist with some safety measures. With the big equipment, we would hold the trees up while he got to work with the chainsaw. We couldn't believe the size of the root systems on some of our trees, and we were thankful for the excavator. It took some practice, but it wasn't long before we were old pros pulling out these stumps. Once we started getting the logs into position, everything started to come together. Chris laid all the logs by hand with some help from the tractor, and before long we were hauling the different types of gravel. We put down cardboard, and then we put down what's called a gravel, and then something called 2-inch gravel. So it was a long, tedious process, but we grinded it out, I believe, in 2 days of long days of work, because we had a deadline to meet. We had someone coming to haul the 12 wide in for us because our vehicle wouldn't have been able to pull it because it was 26,000 pounds. We weren't at the end of the driveway when the trucks came to drop off the 2-inch gravel, so they blocked the road, which gave us a chance to practice our scooping skills and move the gravel out of the way. We sure gave our new little 28 horsepower tractor a workout. Two other big equipment toys we learned how to use were skid steers and different attachments, and because we had some skid steer issues, they were kind enough to bring us another one. So while we were working on grooming the road, the rest of the road after the hill was done, Chris and I got to both play in skid steers and practice moving earth around, getting the bumps out of the road, moving some more gravel, and getting it ready for when the mover was hauling in our big cabin for us. We love watching Oak Island, so we would often joke around with each other that we were heavy equipment operator Chris and Kelly Picken. I gotta say, I think we nailed the Corduroy Road. What do you think? If you're still with me this far, as promised, I'm going to lay out exactly how much we paid for everything. The total amount of gravel we had was 90 yards of 8 gravel, 36 yards of 2-inch gravel at $21 a yard. And when we started, we actually got some pit run. The total for the pit run was, it was just 1 yard, but it was $169. Gravel, small trailer, we had to rent one time for that, and that was actually $500. Our July invoice total for all of the A gravel and 2-inch gravel was $2,988.98. For the heavy equipment, in the beginning, we did rent a small excavator, and that was just $864, and we actually picked it up, and they had a trailer that we could bring it down, but it was an hour away. The other place that we rented from, we rented the large excavator. We also rented a dump trailer from them and a couple other small pieces of equipment. They gave us some deals, but we also had one accident, which I don't think we took a picture of, but we had a broken windshield, which cost us $599. All in total, with the big equipment for the weekend, the extra skid steers, so we had 2 skid steers, we had a grader, was $6,616. So the total equipment and gravel came to $10,272. Now, filling the large diesel gas container, because all of these toys take gas, I only have a record of the one giant bulk gas purchase, which was $867 to fill that Beaver container. And then I know that we spent money on chainsaws, and I can't make heads or tails of the different charges, but I do know in the beginning we spent an extra $400, and then of course we've acquired several more chainsaws. I think we might have 5 chainsaws now. We just want to say thank you to everyone following our journey and cheering us along. It's been a long time coming, and we're super excited about the things to come. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button and bell so you can see when we post our next videos. We'd greatly appreciate it. We have some big projects coming up. Our well drilling is coming up. We're going to be fully installing our wood stove. Hopefully soon harvesting potatoes, but we're really happy to have you along. So thanks for joining us.
that?
No. Wait, what was it?
Big stick.
Oh.
Big tree that was down. Hopefully we can drive over those branches.
Yeah.